Now, Sports Talk with Broads. Here's Hunter Brody.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Sports Talk with Broads. Come on now, Ben Simmons. Those three-point shooting videos, they are surfacing and people are getting juiced up. And I told myself, I will not get sucked in until I see it. Because I have seen this so many times before. Because I have been a sucker before. But there's a little bit of me that just can't deny the fact that I am excited to see this. Because I know if there is ever a time where he does get over that mental block of shooting a basketball, he can be one of the best in the league. So the excitement level to know that if he untaps that part of his game, we are talking an elite player in this league, I get excited. I'm not going to lie. I get excited, but I got to stay calm. I can't do this to myself, right? I got to stay calm. So I'm fighting the urge, essentially. That's what I'm doing. There's a bit inside of me that's getting all crazy inside, but I got to tame it down. Broads, come on. You've been here before. It's like if you get your heart broken by a woman, and then you meet another woman, and she breaks your heart. And then you meet another woman, and she breaks your heart. By the fourth woman, you're thinking, okay, hold on. Am I going to do it again? Or do we take it slow? This is me taking it slow with Ben Simmons and the videos. Because my heart has been broken so many times when it comes to him shooting a basketball in a video. Now, I just want to give people an update on where I'm at here when it comes to my studio, because I had some people reach out to me. Broads, where's your canvas? Broads, where's your Philadelphia sports canvas? Why are you in front of a random gray wall in the corner of your basement? Well, I'm currently building myself a studio/office on the other side of my basement, but it's a process. We got things rolling. We're kind of getting through it. We're getting done the electrical work. Then we got to get the sheetrock in, so it's going to take probably a couple more weeks or so until we get everything rolling with the office and then painting it and whatnot. So for the time being, this is just temporary when it comes to the visual. There's also a podcasted version of this, of course, where you don't see the visual. So if you are interested in the podcasted versions as well, you can search Sports Talk with Broads on your favorite podcasting platform. Gives you another option to listen. So before we dive more into this, do not forget that this episode of Sports Talk with Broads is sponsored by Orbit Energy and Power. With over 20 years of experience in the industry, Orbit Energy and Power is home to your solar experts. Their solar program helps eliminate your electric bill completely. That's right, completely. They offer flexible financing solutions such as $0 down. They also can provide water purification systems, backup energy services, battery storage, and way more. Tree removals. Visit them online. Their information is in the description. They can provide so many upgrades to your home. Is it time to buy in? It's a simple question. Is it time to buy into the Ben Simmons hype? I will say it seems a little different, but I will also say the last video I saw before this group, where it was in the gym, 5-on-5 play in the summer before this current season started, I said it felt different too. Is there too much pressure on him now? Is Brett Brown putting pressure on him? Is Shake Milton and his teammates putting pressure on him to do it? Here's reality. Saying nothing clearly doesn't work. Brett stated before to the media, I want him to take one a game, and that didn't work. And that's not Brett's fault, by the way. I know the Brett haters are going to come out instantly and go, well, I mean, come on. Ben Simmons doesn't even listen to his coach. He should be fired. Stop it. It's on Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons has been told to shoot by everybody ever. Literally, everybody. Everyone in the NBA has told this man to shoot at one point, and he hasn't done it. So does that mean every person should be fired because it hasn't worked? Stop with that nonsense. He's been told to shoot for a long damn time. He's only going to shoot when he's ready. But the way it's being talked about now, is there too much pressure on him? I think maybe they're speaking about it so much, Brett, Shake Milton, his teammates, that they're essentially forcing him to do it. And I'm okay with it because I know the alternative doesn't work. And I feel like maybe because of the switching of positions, being on different parts of the floor, knowing that in today's game, the 4 position stretches the floor out and hides out by the perimeter at times. Maybe he knows, look, I got to do it at this point because in this position, I'm going to be in a spot where I got to knock them down. Now, this is what Coach Brett Brown said. He has taken more threes in the last few days than he might have had in half a season in practice. Now, initially, I think, well, let's throw out a number. He took 5 threes in practice before this move. Well, I mean, taking more than 5 isn't a big deal, right? How many threes did he actually take before this? And I relate that to the conversation I have about Joel Embiid all the time. Brett stated, Joel Embiid's in the best shape I've ever seen him. Well, if he hasn't been in good shape at all, then you might be right. But that doesn't mean he's in great shape. He's just in better shape than he once was, which back then, he wasn't in great shape. You get my point? So maybe with that quote, it's similar to that, where, okay, he's taken more threes than he did in half the season, but if he barely took any threes, and that's not to look down on what he's been doing. See, I'm patient. I am patient with Ben because I feel when he's 27, 28, 29, unstoppable. That type of level. Unstoppable. So with that being said, as long as I see growth, I'm cool. I just need to see growth. And it's not in a game yet. So that's the big one. That's the big hurdle that he has to get over. It's got to be in a game. But to say that he hasn't gotten better at shooting, well, that's laughable. That's just silly. You can see a huge difference in form, confidence, when it comes to what you're seeing on videos now compared to 2 years ago. So like the whole narrative that he doesn't care, he's not bothered by it, he doesn't have that work ethic, he doesn't have the right mentality to add this to his game. Stop with that. That's all nonsense because you can literally see it. And if you don't see it, you're just lying to yourself or you're uneducated about the sport of basketball. Because the confidence and the ability to knock down the shots from behind the arc at this point, it's there. But it's about getting over that mental hurdle. And he's going to have to do it. That's a big part of this, right? I mean, that is a huge part of this, but he's going to have to do it. And I made jokes a few weeks ago about maybe no fans being a reason why he does it. But it seems more and more like reality. And to be honest with you, I don't care what it takes. I don't care. I don't care if it does take having no one in the stands. Whatever is the first step of getting over whatever it is that stops him from shooting the basketball, I'm here for it because I know that his ceiling is super special. Shake Milton. Shake Milton says here, he's taking shots and he is knocking them down. Now, there was a video that it sort of just started going around Twitter, but it was before the bubble even happened, before all the teams went to Orlando, and he was knocking down threes. And someone said, when are we going to see this? And Ben says, Orlando. He came out and said it, Orlando. So I mentioned, is Brett putting too much pressure on him? What about the teammates? Now, is he? Is he putting too much pressure on himself at this point? If he's saying it, he's the one saying Orlando, well then, hey, fair game, right? Fair game. And here's the thing. You will know game one. Game one, you'll know. The exhibition game. Not even the regular season game, the exhibition games. You will know. If you see a spot where he ends up having a wide open jumper and he decides not to do it, now I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. There might be a situation where he gets in a spot, the jumper is there, and his body and his normal instincts take over and he does something else. Okay. But if it happens twice, because in that moment he'd be like, damn it, that's the spot I should have taken a shot. Okay. And his instincts take over. Okay. But if it happens again, a second time, you will know right then and there it's not happening. Because if it's not happening in an exhibition game, why would it happen in the playoffs? Why would it happen in the 8 regular season games, which are essentially exhibition games as well, let's be honest. So you're going to know. And here's something to add to it. Even if he does take one in an exhibition game and hits it, only because I'm basing this off of history, I'll be excited that he did it, but I need to see it more consistently. Because here's the thing. In that game against the Chinese team in the preseason, he made one. You didn't see one for how long? The game against the Cavs, he knocked one down in the corner. You didn't see one until how long? So if he does it, I'd be pumped. But take another one that game. Take another one that game. Like, it blows my mind that this kid hits a three-pointer and then doesn't do it again. You would think that he's playing with house money at that point in his mind. Well, I made the first one. If I take a second one and miss, then who cares because I already made one. It's different than going 0 for 3 from three-point line and then being afraid to take the fourth, but you already made one. So take another. So I'm cool with him taking one, but I don't know how satisfied I'd be. I would like to see more than that. I actually have a bet going with Mike Gill. We are on the Sports Bash on 97.3 ESPN from 2 to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. And the line we set for Ben Simmons, three-pointers in those 8 games, was 4.5. Now, this isn't Vegas odds or anything. This is just me and him having some fun banter back and forth. He took the over. So 5 or more threes, he wins a 6-pack. Under 4 threes, I get the 6-pack. Now, there's a lot to factor in. If he ends up hitting the first shot, will he have more confidence? Or is it going to be what it has been so far? If he hits the first shot he takes, the first three-pointer, and it's only attempts, by the way. It's not makes. It's attempts. But if he hits the first one, is he going to put his hands up and go, look, I did it. I'm not taking another one. I did it. And also, how many minutes is he going to play? Is he going to be load managed at any point? I don't think he's going to play all 8 games. I don't think Joel Embiid's going to play all 8 games. Teams are looking at this as not so much important games because they want to make sure the team is healthy for the actual postseason for the games that matter. The seedings at this point, because of the home court advantage being gone, guess what? It's not as in play as it once was when things were normal. So I'm not going to lie, I'm a little nervous because I think if he takes one in the first game and he makes it, there's a possibility that he gets rocking and rolling. But if he misses his first 4, I don't think he takes another, right? I don't think he takes another. Hopefully I win that 6-pack. I think I'm in a good spot. I think it's a good line. You never know. I mean, it can go in so many different directions when it comes to this kid and when it comes to the three-point shot. It's pretty crazy, not going to lie. Now, looking at some other things here, Brett says that his three-point shot is looking good. What's he going to say? It's looking bad? He's definitely putting oomph behind this conversation, though. The whole team is. It is on full display. Not even here in Philadelphia. It's a national media story at this point. Will Ben Simmons start taking the shots? And like I said, he came out and stated it. He said Orlando. So as much as we're talking about right now, hey, Brett speaking about it, Shake Milton speaking about it, is there too much hype surrounding this? Let's go back to the video. Orlando, he says, when people are going to see this. There's no doubt that him unlocking this part of his game changes everything. I don't expect him to go out there and start shooting 40% from 3. Hell, I've been saying I don't even need him to take the 3. I just need him to come off of a pick and roll and maybe take the shot, a mid-range jumper. That's what I need to see. The 3's an added bonus. But it does seem like that's more of his focus than the mid-range game, which maybe that has to do with the style of the game today, the 4 position as a whole. But he was practicing these 3s even when he was the point guard. So it seems like his focus was sort of always the 3. His most comfortable spot on the floor from behind the arc seems to be the corner. That's where he seems to get in rhythm, start knocking them down consistently in the open gym. But in these videos, different spots. Different spots on the floor. And I'm not going to lie to you, it is important. With where he was in the practice video, can you do some pick and pops? Al Horford's spot on the floor is a pick and pop, whether it's by the elbow, whether it's at the top of the three-point line. that area, pick and pop play. And I thought to myself, okay, if Ben is playing the 4, there's going to be spots on the floor for him to do a pick and pop, for him to take a little mid-range, for him to use the floor like Al Horford did. Will that ever happen? You're going to see Ben in different spots. It's going to be unique. It's going to be odd, but his versatility allows you to do that. I'm so intrigued. There's so much in play here with this move. So much. What type of player defends him? Can he run the offense through the post? Because that's going to happen at times. How does this impact Joel Embiid? Apparently, between the two, the relationship, the connection right now is unbelievable between Ben and Joel. I question the spacing for Joel. Because if Ben Simmons camps out by the perimeter, is anyone going to actually believe he's going to do it? That allows that defender to help whoever's guarding Joel Embiid. And then now there's a double involved. Joel Embiid struggles against the double team, even though he's getting better at it. It's definitely not his strongest part of the game. How many threes is it going to take for people to start respecting Ben Simmons? It's going to take a lot. Because Giannis is a player who can hit the 3, willing to shoot the 3. He'll airball one. He'll come down the next possession down the floor and take another one. In rhythm. Not even looking at any of his teammates. Bang, just goes for another one. And people don't respect him. So acting as if one shot will change everyone's opinion on defending him, it's just not the case. It's going to take a long time. So I question how teams are going to defend him, where he's even going to be on the floor. How that messes up Joel Embiid's spacing. But adding Shake Milton on the floor, does that add more spacing for the perimeter? I can't get over that, though. The more threes in the last few days than he might have had in half a season in practice. Not only that, he's getting tremendous encouragement by his teammates. I think one thing that's going for him right now is the confidence. And that's huge. That's a huge part of sports in general. You know, towards the end of my hockey career, I lost confidence, no doubt about it. And you can sense that. Body language, the mental side of the game, how well you perform, the stress you put on yourself. You hold the stick a little bit tighter. The puck bounces off the stick because you know you got to make the perfect play. Right now, it does seem like he's in a good area mentally. The teammates hyping him up. I talked about the spark plug addition. This is a spark plug addition to the team. Something fresh, something new. And the more and more I think about this quarantine and COVID-19, none of it's good, okay? I'm not saying that at all. None of this is good. I would never want this to actually happen ever again. But in terms of the 76ers needing to hit a reset button, this could be the best thing that ever happened to them. Once again, this is a horrendous thing. This is terrible for the economy. This is awful for individuals. This is bad for families. I don't want this to ever happen. But this could be the best thing to ever happen for the 76ers this season because the frustration, the stress, let's be real, the fan base, the brutal pressure. It seemed like it was spiraling out of control. And I sensed that Brett Brown sat down every single damn day and thought to himself, how do we do something new? What can we do here? How do we change something? We got to do something different. And you know how football coaches just sit there all day, hit the play button on their film, rewind, watch, notebook. I'm also thinking of the Miracle movie. Beautiful movie. 1980. USA beats the Soviets. Unbelievable. You got Herb Brooks just watching tape, watching film, studying. I think Brett Brown did a little bit of that. And we'll see if it pays off. There were some other things that were mentioned throughout the media press conferences, like Matisse Thybulle, Furkan Korkmaz, Tobias Harris, Al Horford, and Ben Simmons running the point. Maybe you see that in a rotation. this is kind of obvious, but when it comes to the rotation, it's all going to be about the opponents. Just drew a huge blank there. The matchups, who you're going up against. Because there's so many guys. Matisse, Furkan, Alec Burks, Glenn Robinson III, Mike Scott, Al Horford off the bench. It's a lot of guys to fit in. And it's all going to be based off of the matchups and who's playing well that night and who's having an off night. I mean, I know that's pretty obvious, but, at some point, do you get a set lineup or does it really change on who's playing well that night when it comes to the bench? Speaking of some bench guys, Matisse Thybulle's vlogs, really interesting, all on YouTube. You can see what it's like to be in the bubble, putting on the mask, getting their bracelets scanned, the food, hanging out on the boat, Kyle O'Quinn, Tobias, Matisse hanging out on the boat, things like that. It's pretty cool. I would advise you to check out the YouTube page of Matisse Thybulle. He's been doing some very interesting stuff behind the scenes. And I saw something on Twitter, too. Oh, Furkan Korkmaz trying to swing a golf club. Oh, Furky, come on, man. Give me a little bit more athleticism. He looked like Charles Barkley out there. It was that ugly. It was that miserable. Not going to lie to you. It was kind of pathetic. Furky, come on. They don't have golf over there in Turkey. I'm just busting some stones, but it was brutal. I'm not going to lie to you. It was absolutely pathetic. The pick and roll game. Will we see more pick and roll? Josh Richardson and Joel Embiid seem to be on the same page, but now I'm looking at that as, all right, Joel Embiid and Josh Richardson running some pick and rolls. Josh Richardson's going to have the ball in his hands, doing some pick and roll play. Now, whether you hate it or not, today's game is all about positionless basketball. So, a lot of these guys can have the ball in their hands. You're going to see times where Tobias Harris is going to try and break down some players. You're going to see Shake Milton. You're going to see Ben Simmons. You're going to see Joel Embiid running the offense through possessions. So, I know you're going to see Josh Richardson with the ball in his hands, but it seems as if they got something going there. They got some connection. And we know Ben Simmons, by the way, is one hell of a roller. That just shows his versatility. So you're going to see some pick and roll play with Ben Simmons as the roller. Moral of the story is more pick and roll play. And that is something that I have been hard on when it comes to Brett Brown. I've been hard on Brett Brown because he needs to have more pick and roll play implemented. And I think you're starting to see that. Hopefully, it's affected on the court. Hopefully, that changes the flow of this team a bit. The team needed a refresh. The team needed to hit the button. And I know at this point, it all seems good, right? It all seems great and dandy. It has the vibe of regular training camp, doesn't it? As if this is regular training camp and they're starting the season in October and it's a brand new season, except the difference is, here you go. Here's 8 games and then the playoffs, which could benefit this team. It was almost as if they walked through the regular season because, well, let's be realistic. As I stated many, many times here, the regular season doesn't really matter when you know you're a playoff team. People hate that. What do you mean it doesn't matter? It doesn't matter. If you are a legit team that contends for titles, I promise you, they don't treat the regular season like it matters. So it felt as if they walked through it. And that ultimately hurt them. Now, what do you walk through? There's nothing to walk through. Prepare. You get 8 games, you run up and down the floor, and then boom, the real moment hits. So they don't have that ugly time to really walk through 82 games. And that's where I think the team will benefit. I always mock the people out there that said this layoff could be all Sixers. And the reason why they said that is because other teams are going to come out slow. Other teams are going to come out sloppy. The three-point shooting is going to look ugly. So it gives the Sixers an opportunity because, well, they are an ugly style team. And I hated that. I really did. I despise that mindset. I think it is kind of the other way around. It's not so much about the ugliness of what other teams are doing, but more so maybe the more polished Sixers team you're going to get. Instead of the other teams being so poor, this gave the opportunity to the Sixers to get on the right page, to learn different things, to figure out some gel when it comes to their offense. It gave the Sixers more time to polish them, not so much the hideous play on the other guys. And that's not to say that there won't be some ugliness, because if you think about it, in the regular season, normally in October, there's ugliness in October. In the NFL, there's ugliness in September. There's ugliness in all of sports early on. I get it. So, yes, you're going to see that. But don't give me that the Sixers have a chance because everybody else is going to shoot poorly from behind the arc. Come on. These guys are NBA players. It's not going to just leave them completely. Maybe the first 8 regular season games won't be as smooth. But they've been playing ball. They've been shooting. They've been preparing themselves mentally, especially these top contenders. You think LeBron James took some months off? You think James Harden took some months off? Giannis, Chris Middleton, Jason Tatum? No, these guys didn't take time off. They've all been putting in work, as they should. And that's another reason why this whole Joel Embiid working out 6 days a week thing doesn't get me all fired up, because so has everybody else who's ready to play. They all have. Maybe not the guys that are kind of but those guys who are kind of aren't the ones that are seriously competing for a championship. If you have the right mentality to compete, well, guess what? You were working out 6 days a week as well. So, who worked out harder? That's the real question. And sure, it could be Joel, no doubt. We'll find out. The reality is, we'll find out. The Sixers. I'll tell you what, it's something new every day with this team. More videos surface up, and I told myself I would not get sucked in to believing that it's totally going to happen. And I stand by that. Show me. And I think it's fine to sit here and say, show me. Only because I'm going off history. I hate the bros. You're being a negative Nancy crew. How am I being a negative Nancy? It would be different if we haven't seen this. History has shown me that he won't do it. But here's the counter. There's always going to be a time. So I brought up the comparison of getting your heart broken by 4 different women. There will eventually be a woman that doesn't break your heart. Well, there will eventually be a time where Ben Simmons does shoot it. I know some people out there are listening going, no way in hell. Well, reality is there is going to be a time. There is going to be a time where he does shoot the ball. So at one point, I will be wrong when I say, I don't believe it. And I hope it's this time. But prove it to me. Show me. And I think that is a fair way to do it. Only because these videos have been out before. But I've seen the growth. It would be ridiculous to say you haven't seen the growth. I don't get the sarcasm. There's a lot of sarcasm out there. Oh, great, an NBA player hit a 3. Bravo. Well, guess what? It matters. It matters when it's Ben Simmons. I hate to break it to you. You know, it doesn't matter if it's James Harden. Doesn't matter if it's Steph Curry. It does matter when it's Ben Simmons, because everybody knows if he unlocks that part of his game, we are talking about a completely different player. Everybody knows if he starts taking threes, we are talking about a dominating force in this league. So that's why it matters that it's Ben Simmons. Someone texted into the text board on 97.3 ESPN this past week and said something like, yeah, well, LeBron James, what did he say exactly? Let me get my thoughts proper here. Something about comparing Ben Simmons to LeBron James and how LeBron carried a team to a championship and Ben Simmons should be able to, but he's not. Something along the lines like that. And the way I see this is, the fact that you are comparing Ben Simmons to LeBron James should tell you everything. Now, LeBron is way better than Ben. That's totally understandable. And I don't think Ben gets to LeBron James status. Not a knock on Ben, more of a praise of LeBron James. Arguably the best player ever. Most people will slide him into the second spot, which is fine. The fact that you are comparing Ben Simmons and you believe that he has the ability to bring a team to a title like LeBron James does, why would trading him ever be the conversation? Why would getting rid of him ever be the conversation? You are admitting right then and there that Ben Simmons is good enough when he can reach his ceiling to bring crap teams and to bring an entire franchise and organization to multiple playoff runs. Am I missing something here? That shows you the ceiling. So that's why it matters when we discuss Ben Simmons hitting jump shots, because that's the difference. So why give up on him now? If you don't see the growth, then that's shame on you. Because if you go back and watch him from years ago and you see where he is now, it's night and day. Sorry, it doesn't fit your narrative. But it's night and day. So will he get over the hump? Will the pressure of the teammates and coaching staff get him over the hump? He put it on himself too. Remember, he said, Orlando, when asked, when are we going to see this? No fans in the stands. You won't hear the boos. You won't hear the sarcasm from the Philadelphia fans at the Wells Fargo Center. Because I think that plays a part of it. He hits a three and everyone cheers like it's a circus. Now, he put that on himself for not doing this more often. But still, I'm sure he doesn't like that feeling at all. So without all that, but now there's more trash talk. Well, maybe not more trash talk, but you hear the trash talk differently. That open gym vibe, it's different. But does that make him more comfortable? Because that's when he's doing it in these off-season videos. 5-on-5 play in the empty gym. Just that atmosphere might give him more confidence to do it. Sure, people are watching on television. Sure, the broadcast has it. But when he's out there playing on the court, it's all about what vibe he feels. You'll know early on. If it goes 3 games in and you haven't seen it yet, guess what? Yup. You're not going to see it. Is it time to buy in? That is a very interesting question. We've seen the open gym videos, but how often has he been doing it in practice? Practice itself. And does that change your opinion? That it's legit practice over pickup ball 5-on-5 with, random NBA guys. Now it's more about working on sets, working on certain rotations, where you're going to be on the floor. If he's doing it there, is he going to do it when the games happen? Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of Sports Talk with Broads. This episode is sponsored by Orbit Energy and Power. Their solar program helps eliminate your electric bill completely. They offer flexible financing solutions such as $0 down, water purification systems, clean, healthy, soft water for your family, tree removals, battery storage, backup energy services, emergency services, electrical upgrades, you name it. Their information is in the description. Thank you so much once again. I know we've been pretty heavy on Sixers talk lately, but they have been running the show. No doubt about it. Phillies talk is definitely starting to amp up a bit. Spencer Howard, Bryce Harper had some comments, Alec Boehm. You'll start to see more conversations throughout the teams, all 4 of them, no doubt. The Flyers are getting ready to come back. Alain Vigneault, finalist for Coach of the Year, the Jack Adams Award. Don't worry. We're going to be mixing in everything. It's just right now, with the Sixers speaking and this big move by Ben Simmons and Brett Brown, it's running the storylines right now for me. I'm sorry. It's just too much that I can't not be talking about it every single damn day when I wake up and when I grab my coffee. You know me. I fill this bad boy up 6 times before 10 o'clock. I gotta talk about the Sixers. I'll end it here. Thank you guys once again. I will see you next time.